Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of Anatomy of a Fight, the show where we analyze matches and point out the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we are resuming our weekly giveaways. That's right, you heard me correct. We are resuming our weekly giveaways starting today. So please subscribe and leave a comment by answering the question, what do you think is the best card showcased from the new expansion? That includes the deals that were given, the Cheesemancer, and the cards generated by the new one-cost action. So please leave a comment about that. And while you're thinking of an answer, let's watch together. The first time we are having... Actually, it's not the first time. It's the second time we are having Anatomy of a Fight with footage from another user that has submitted to me his epic video. Now, Atlaimond, hope I pronounced that correctly, is a good friend of mine. He is my neighbor from across the border in Hungary. He is a My Little Pony fan. We all have different likings. I personally enjoy Naruto and some other anime stuff. I also like Transformers and Marvel stuff. We are still children, nonetheless. Even though we have grey beards and white hairs. So Atlaimond is playing an Altar Assassin. And he's playing against a Redrun deck. Matteo is his opponent. Unfortunately, he does not have an altar right now. But as you can see, he has quite the arsenal at his disposal to make good use of the board. Here is a Split Soul. Now, Altar Assassin can be deadly if the cards aren't drawn correctly. However, if faced with very aggressive decks, this Redrun might pose a problem. Luckily, as far as I can see, this is either a self-harming Redrun, or it's just a token Redrun. Or maybe a mix of the two. We are also seeing some prophecies. So, Atlaimond's objective here is to dominate the board, and as soon as the Altar of Despair hits, he is bound to start summoning big stuff. Now, he has a lot of last gasp creatures. That is perfectly normal, and that's how you should play an Altar Assassin. With a lot of last gasp. And you also have the legendary card. I can't remember its name. I think I have only one copy of it. Necromastermind, I believe. Yep, that's it. And running Gentleman Jim Stacy in the deck can really put your opponent at a disadvantage. Why? Because even though it's a high cost, it costs 7 magicka, you just play it right away. It's especially good when your opponent has quite a few cards in his hand, because he'll be forced to trade. If your opponent kept the best cards for last, he is bound to give you something pretty good. Now, you can actually pull some insane combos with Gentleman Jim Stacy if your opponent has just one card and you have Dark Rebirth. You can basically just break a rune, steal a card, break another rune, steal another card. You can leave your opponent empty-handed. Unfortunately for Atlaimond, no altar in sight for now. But the game is almost over. There is an altar, but a bit too late. Why? Because, as you can see, the match is mostly over. There's nothing that Matteo can do. So yeah, that was a good game. Moving on to the next one. Fighting against a Redoran deck. This match, I think this match, I've swiped a bit through it. And it shows the resilience of Atlaimond. Basically, he was so unlucky in drawing no altar, basically surviving on whatever he drew. And against an, if I remember correctly, he's playing against a Hulalu with Haunted Mana. Luckily for Atlaimond, Haunted Mana reached his opponent's hand pretty late, so he was able to compensate. There's Dark Rebirth. So what Atlaimond is trying to pull here is to gain as much HP as possible. Throwing in another that should basically increase his HP to 34. Now this Lalo deck is a bit strange. We just saw a healing potion being played. It's the chicken. It's always the chicken. Now, I think this might have been a bit of a mistake, because it was uncalled for to use the Cruel Fire Bloom on such a low cost a creature. It could have been used later on, and all those angry villagers could have been used for altar. But considering the fact that Atlaimond didn't receive the altar until later on. This trade proved to be an asset. Why? Because those angry villagers represent they're just like a 4/4 body. So dealing 4 damage each turn until his opponent starts contesting the villagers. Token generation is always fun. And there's Gentleman Jim Stacy again. Initially, I thought this was a mistake, not playing Gentleman Jim Stacy, but Dark Rebirth on Blackhand Messenger actually gives Atlaimond 2 more HP and ability to push for 4 more damage. The problem is, as we see, Tyr just popped out of a rune, blocked the entire field lane, and all those tokens are pretty much dead. If that giant bat is not removed soon, all of Atlaimond's attempts to chip away at his opponent's HP until Altar hits in might have been in vain. Now, Jim Stacy in the field lane. That's not really a good option. Jim Stacy in the shadow lane would have been better. And considering his opponent just gave him a Mentor's Ring, this could have helped him apply to the Blackhand Messenger. And he could have started draining. There is the Haunted Manor. A big mistake made by his opponent not attacking. Maybe he decided it's not the best time to attack, but Atlaimond is sitting at a comfortable 34 HP. Looks like it's also an item, Lalu. There goes Tyr. And here comes Walls Incarnate. Because his opponent was not so keen in dealing damage. Pants on the Blackhand Messenger. That's a great move. Now the problem is, his opponent is out of cards. And in a Haunted Manor deck, being out of cards is pretty bad. Because you always need to rely on at least 2 creatures played that turn to benefit from the Haunted Manor's buff. That is giving +2/+2 to the second creature summoned. Manticora hits. And if also doesn't hit soon, Atlaimond will be in some serious trouble. His opponent keeps making a lot of mistakes. Why? Because he could have kept Manticora. He could have waited for a second card just to play 2 cards, 2 creatures in the same turn to benefit from the Haunted Manor's ability. Apparently, his opponent's deck is pretty much filled with weapons. I'm guessing it's pretty hard to find a good creature. But nonetheless, you wait. If sorry, if there are no big threats on the board, and there weren't so many big threats, there were just a couple of guards, the Blackhand Messenger. You wait. Especially if you're playing Haunted Manor and you wish to overpower your opponent. You don't just throw every card that comes. You draw a card, you throw it on the board. That's just counterproductive. And as you can see, his opponent starts roping. I think that's the most awful thing that a person could do. He's not conceding, like recognizing defeat. That's decent. I mean, okay, you have nothing left to do. You can't play anything. You're most likely going to die. It's okay to admit defeat. I usually concede if my opponent plays something and I have no answer to, and I know that I'm unable to recover. My hand is either shot or I've got nothing to play, and I know that in 2 turns I'm dead because I don't have any prophecies, or I don't know. I know my deck when I'm playing it, so that's the thing. Now, an incredible play by Atlaimond here. Patience does reward the player. As you can see there, a good sacrifice provided Atlaimond with a Blood Magic Lord, giving him a copy of Drain Life. Now this is very good because even though his opponent looks like abandoned the game, he didn't quit the game, he didn't concede. No, he's just there, probably just, I don't know, switched applications or whatever. Atlaimond has done, I think, the most he did the most that he had with the cards that were given to him. He waited long enough. He played guards. He used Gentleman's Stacy strategically and obtained a Mentor's Ring, which he played to his advantage, not on the Blackhand Messenger, but on the Embassy Guard. That gave him Ward and Guard on every creature on the board, preventing his opponent from winning the game. And that's it. Remember, guys, you can also send me your matches and I will showcase them on Anatomy of a Fight. Feel free to send them either via Twitter, either via Reddit. Create a share link, share it to Dropbox. Thank you guys for watching. Cheers.